Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Barry Newman, and today we're breaking down the real cost of living in Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is an incredible city. World-class food, diverse neighborhoods, and an amazing lifestyle. But it's important to understand what it really costs to live here. Whether you're considering a move, already live here, or just curious, we're going to break it all down: housing, taxes, transportation, groceries, entertainment, and more. Housing costs, renting versus buying. One of the biggest expenses in Chicago is housing. And let me tell you, where you choose to live will have a huge impact on your budget. Let's talk a little bit about renting. I think that's important for some people. If you want to live downtown, or places like River North or Streeterville or the West Loop, you're looking at about $2,200 to $3,500 per month for a one-bedroom apartment. A two-bedroom downtown will cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $5,500 per month. So as you can see, the prices do go up. But in more affordable areas like Logan Square or Albany Park or Pilsen, you can find a one-bedroom for $1,200 or $1,800 a month. Suburban rentals, if you're considering places like Evanston, Skokie, or Glenview, rents for a two-bedroom start at around $1,800 and go up to $3,000 or more, depending on the area. Now, let's talk a little bit about buying a home in Chicago. The median home price in Chicago is around $320,000. If you're my client, I certainly will try to find one for you, but I'll tell you, right now with low inventory, there's not too much around $320,000, especially if you want to be in the North Shore suburbs, or even in the best part of Chicago. You're not going to be spending $320,000. But when they put these numbers together, you're talking about South Chicago, South Suburb, West Suburbs. There is no East because the lake is east, but there is, of course, North, and nothing in the North Suburbs or in North Chicago is going to be $320,000. Well, let's use the number because that is the exact number. A condo in downtown areas will cost anywhere from $300,000 to well over $1 million, if not more. If you're looking at North Shore suburbs like Wilmette, which is the third-ranked suburb, Winnetka, which is the number 1 ranked suburb, or Glencoe, which is the number 2 ranked suburb, single-family homes can start as low as $800,000 and go well over $2 million. Now, just to scare you a bit, but there's some very, very wealthy people who live in some of these suburbs. And then there's some actual realistic prices on some of these homes, well over $1.5 million. But a house just sold in Winnetka for $35 million. But I'm sure it does. I think that was one of the most expensive houses ever sold in Winnetka. The other thing to consider are property taxes. They are a huge factor in Chicago's home ownership. And that brings us to our next topic, which is taxes and utilities in Chicago. Illinois has some of the highest property taxes in the country. So if you're buying a home, be prepared, okay? You have to be prepared. Property taxes in Illinois have an average rate of 2.2, which means for a $500,000 home, you're paying around $11,000 per year in taxes. Yes, that's a lot, but it's not really that much. Now, I've been here my entire life, so for me, whatever the taxes are, they are. What I try to tell people is certain counties may be higher and certain counties may be lower. So if you're in Cook County, which takes all of Chicago, the north suburbs, up to Lake Cook Road, where the dividing line would be Northbrook to Deerfield or Glencoe to Highland Park. That's Cook County, and Lake County is actually a half a point higher. But Chicago's sales tax is 10.25%, which is higher than most U.S. cities. Now, there's always cities, especially L.A., New York, San Francisco. Even towns like Texas is big, so Dallas and Houston, San Antonio, wherever it might be, they have high sales tax as well. Now, the cost of utilities in Chicago is slightly higher than the national average. Electricity, expect to pay $100 to $150 per month for a typical apartment. With that being said, keep in mind that because of the seasons, it's going to fluctuate. And it also, if you're living in an apartment, a lot of apartments right now are typically electricity. So you have to pay electricity. If it's gas, it's usually part of the assessment. Gas heating, especially in the winters here, which are cold, heating bills can hit $200 plus per month in the wintertime. Something to consider. And internet, I can't see why internet should be any more expensive here than it is anywhere else because it's a service, right? So plans range from anywhere from $60 to $100 a month depending on speed and provider. Thinking about relocating to Chicago, Illinois and neighboring suburbs? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research. And I've linked it down below from top employees, the best hospitals, and a boatload of other things that you need to know before making the move. The best part of this guide, it's 100% free. That's right, you heard it right from me, 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment, and I hope that helps. In fact, I know it will help. Let's talk about transportation costs, public transit versus driving. Chicago is one of the most walkable cities in the U.S., but your transportation costs will depend on how you get around. If you're taking Metro, the bus compared to Uber, it's a huge difference. So a monthly CTA pass for buses and trains is only $75 a month, a great deal compared to owning a car. Ubers and Lyfts are everywhere, but they can get really pricey, especially during surge pricing. I remember taking a Uber to go show a property in Glenview, and it cost me a lot of money. I asked the driver, why in the heck is it costing so much? Now, Uber knew it was COVID during COVID time, and it was much more expensive. Now, owning a car in Chicago, gas prices in Chicago are typically higher than the national average. Right now, they're hovering over $3.50 to $4.50 per gallon. I think it's actually less than that. And what Costco does is they travel around the local gas stations and always price their gas lower, so you always get a better deal. Now, parking is very expensive. A parking spot in downtown apartment building can cost $200 to $300 per month. If you rely on street parking, be prepared for hefty tickets if you forget to move for street cleaning days. I think people are smart enough, especially today. Let's talk about food, groceries, and entertainment, which he does come into play here too. Chicago is a food lover's paradise, but eating out can add up very, very quickly. Eating out, a casual meal at a restaurant costs $15 to $25 per person. On my way, I was out showing property, and I stopped at a famous hot dog place, but they do a lot more than that. And it cost me $25 for a salad. Come to think of it now, they have those things where you can put on a tip, 10, 20, or 30%. So I did tip as well. A nice dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant could be $80 to $120 a person. Now, what are we famous for? Deep dish pizza. A large Lou Malnati's pizza is around $25 to $35. Now, it's worth every penny, but it's not inexpensive. Hell, if you want to go have a good hot dog, that could be $10 or $12. Now, let's get into grocery prices. If I remember correctly, Trump said the first day he comes into office, everything at grocery stores, the prices are going down. I don't think that's happened at all. Prices are going down. No, not here. Milk is $4.50 a gallon. Eggs are $3.50 a dozen. I mean, that's expensive. Chicken breasts, $4.99 a pound. Bread, $3.50 a loaf. Hey guys, it's Barry Newman. As much as I love making these videos, there's one thing I love more, and that's helping families and people from all over the United States make the move here to Chicago. I've helped countless families make the move. So whether you're coming out next week, next month, or even next year, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here and linked in the description in case you miss the on-screen pop-up. I look forward to helping you and your family make the move to Chicago. Now let's talk a little bit about entertainment costs. You want to go see a movie at a movie theater? The tickets alone are $15 per person. My God, if you want buttered popcorn and a Coke, that's another 20-some dollars. Thankfully, I just saw that Dylan movie twice. Believe it or not, it was that good. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you see it. Now, let's say you want to have a really nice night out at Wrigley Field, because people love to go to Wrigley Field. A Cubs game easily is $50 to $100 per ticket, and that's if you're not going to a scalper. Leave alone, talk about expensive hot dogs and peanuts and pop. The food quality is below average, and the prices are way above average. Now, if you want to go to a concert, expect to pay $75 to $200 depending on the artist. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, I could tell you that. I became a big lover of Caitlin Clark. She became the number one scorer in the history of women's basketball. She's brought from an average of 5,000 people to a game to 15,000 people. And if you want to go see her play, you could spend as much as $500 to see women's basketball. But I tell you, I think she's worth it. I can't go all the time, but I'd love to see her play live. I think, she's just, the cat's meow. So is Chicago worth the cost? That's the key question. Compared to places like New York and San Francisco, it's actually much more affordable, but it's certainly not cheap. Here's a quick recap. The pros of all this: more affordable than New York or LA, amazing culture, food and entertainment, walkable city with good public transportation. The cons: high property taxes, parking and gas can be expensive, cold winters mean high heating bills. Now, for me personally, I put solar on my roof, and I'm paying half of what my electric bills used to be. Some areas and in Illinois, they're picking up the big tab for this. I felt it was a great move on my part, and that's what I did. So if you're moving to Chicago and need help finding the right neighborhood or home, I'd love to help. Drop a comment below or reach out to me anytime. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a real estate update. See you in the next video, and can't wait to hear from you and converse with you. In fact, I got 2 calls today for people moving here. Today's a great day for me. I'm extremely happy. Thanks, and I hope you enjoyed this.